Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into something that, well, it often gets kind of overlooked when we talk about online crime, the human cost. The truly devastating human cost of online fraud. We're looking at a specific tragic case today, Prashant Patil, a 40-year-old agriculture officer from Nashik. He tragically died by suicide after losing a staggering sum, 56 lakhs, so that's 5.6 million, to a really elaborate online scam. And what's become clear looking into this is that it goes way beyond just the money, right? It's about the profound emotional, the psychological toll these kinds of cybercrimes take.
Yeah, our sources here include police confirmations, expert warnings. It's pretty serious stuff. So our mission today is to explore how these scams actually unfold, step by step, but also crucially to understand that immense human impact. Okay, let's unpack this. So Prashant Patil's journey into this terrible situation, it started back in December 2022. And again, well, pretty innocuously, really. He accepted a friend request from a woman on social media. What happened next was just this incredibly detailed deception.
It was clearly designed to build trust first, before asking for any money. She first convinced him to buy something called Hapco oil for export, which, based on the sources, sounds like it was probably fake. Just a hook to get him involved.
Exactly. A completely fictitious product, most likely, just part of the setup.
He never got it, of course.
No, but the interaction continued, and this is key. Over nearly 2 years, this supposed trust deepened.
2 years.
And that's when she started pushing him toward bigger things, bulk purchases. She even promised this parcel, supposedly full of foreign currency valuables.
The classic get-rich-quick angle layered onto the trust.
Precisely. Designed to make the potential reward seem immense, justifying the risk.
And the financial devastation for Mr. Patil was just total. Over that period, almost 2 years, he transferred 56 lakh in total.
It's an enormous sum.
And think about how he raised it. Selling his own jewelry, borrowing money, all based on this false hope of getting goods or even just a refund.
Neither of which ever happened.
No, nothing. Which brings us to the tragic end. June 5th, 2025. He was faced with this crushing debt, obviously, but also just utter despair. From the financial loss, yes, but also the manipulation, the betrayal.
That emotional weight can be unbearable.
He consumed poison at his home in Nashik. And he died early the next morning, June 6th. His wife then filed a police complaint, understandably.
Which led to the formal FIR, the first information report.
Right, and the charges listed are serious. Cheating, abetment to suicide, criminal conspiracy, plus offenses under the IT Act.
And what's fascinating here is how the police are framing this. They see Patil's case not as just a one-off tragedy, but really as emblematic of a worrying pattern. It's becoming more common.
A pattern of what specifically?
Individuals being led into complete ruin through these, well, romance and investment-based cyber frauds. They often blend the two. These scams, they're specifically designed to exploit personal vulnerabilities, especially when there's prolonged contact, like the 2 years here.
Right.
That allows for deep emotional manipulation.
So it preys on basic human needs. Connection, maybe financial security.
Absolutely. Connection, financial hopes, sometimes even just a feeling of being special or chosen for an opportunity. They hook into that natural trust we have, and then subtly, they introduce things like the sunk cost fallacy. The victim feels they've already put in so much time, emotion, maybe some initial money, they can't possibly back out now.
That makes sense. It's not just a transaction. It's this whole insidious campaign built over time.
Yeah.
You mentioned a quote earlier from an officer involved about the violation of trust and dignity. Could you expand on that? Why is that feeling so potent, so damaging?
Yes, I think that quote really gets to the heart of it. It's not only about money lost, but the profound violation of trust and dignity. Psychologically, think about it. You spend months, maybe years, investing emotionally, financially, believing in this connection or opportunity.
Right.
And then discovering it was all a lie, a performance crafted just to exploit you.
That must be shattering.
It is. It doesn't just empty your bank account. It can shatter your self-worth, your judgment, your ability to trust anyone again, even yourself.
That prolonged deception,
Yeah.
It's just brutal.
It can be incredibly damaging, yes. And often that emotional fallout is as devastating, sometimes more so, than the financial loss itself.
So where does the investigation stand now?
Well, they're working on it. Investigators are tracing IP addresses, trying to follow the money trail, examining the social media accounts involved.
But the scammer hasn't been identified yet.
Not at this time, no. These operators are often very skilled at covering their tracks, unfortunately, using fake profiles, routing money through complex networks.
It sounds incredibly difficult to track them down.
It is challenging, definitely.
Okay, so while the police do their work on this specific case, what does this all mean for you listening right now?
What strikes me is just how sophisticated this was. The patience, the psychological manipulation. It really highlights how important it is to understand these patterns, because honestly, it feels like almost anyone could be susceptible to this level of emotional targeting.
That's a crucial point. It's easy to think that wouldn't happen to me, but...
Right. But is it about a specific type of vulnerability they look for, or is it more about how convincing the setup is?
It's both, really. But the persistence and the tailoring of the attack are key. They don't just send a generic message. They often spend, as we saw here, months or years grooming the victim, building that false reality, that sense of security before the big asks start.
It's like a masterclass in psychological manipulation.
It really is. And often, because of things like that sunk cost fallacy we mentioned, the victim might even start making excuses for inconsistencies, doubling down because they're so invested.
Which makes it so important for families or friends to know the signs, maybe.
Exactly. And that's why the authorities urge victim families to come forward quickly if they suspect something. Don't wait. And the advice for individuals is clear. Be incredibly skeptical. Thoroughly verify any investment offers, any sudden online friendship overtures, especially if they involve money or secrecy.
And the Nashik cyber police are doing specific things.
Yes, they're actively working on awareness. They have helplines, they're running digital safety workshops, and importantly, they're focusing specifically on highlighting the psychological pressure these crimes create. It's not just about spotting a dodgy link.
It's about recognizing the manipulation itself.
Precisely. Understanding the tactics that target your trust and your emotions.
That's really helpful. And for those looking for more resources, our sources mentioned the cybersecurity platter.
That's right.
You can find them on social media platforms, apparently, and their website is www.cyberplatter.com. We'll put that in the notes. So wrapping this up, our deep dive into Prashant Patil's tragic story, it really lays bare a stark truth. Online fraud isn't just about finances. It's a fundamental attack on trust, on dignity, on a person's mental well-being.
The consequences are profound.
Absolutely crippling, as we've seen.
And this raises an important question, I think, for all of us to consider. In this digital world where we live so much of our lives online and where our personal vulnerabilities can be pinpointed and exploited with, well, increasing sophistication, how do we need to fundamentally change the way we build trust? How do we verify information, verify people online? And what kind of new resilience, maybe emotional resilience, do we need to develop against these really intimate forms of digital deception?